And they're kind of neat. I had an apple forester. What happened was they had the apple trees and you could see the little red apples on them. And then on the ground, they also had the little crates of apples. Now, alright, welcome back to another episode of Banished with your host, Midnight. Last we left off, we just finished doing the food production chain. So that video, you see all the buildings over here. So we wanted putting down all the food production buildings. You know, the meat tinneries, the windmills, all of the hunting cabins, all this food related stuff. So we want to putting all this stuff down so that you can get an idea of that. You can go back to the previous video and take a quick peek at that so you can see what's going on. But this episode, we're going to get into the resource production. So that's going to have a lot to do with forestry. I don't know how I'm going to build this out, but I'm not going to let the stuff grow. So here's the standard forester. And the forest lodge actually has a couple variations on it. I didn't realize the forest lodge had a couple variations on it. 2, it looks like. Which is pretty neat. I didn't know that. So that's pretty cool. I wonder if that's part of... part of the Colonial... I'm sure it is part of Colonial Charter. I'm trying to think of... Sorry, I paused for a second here because I'm just putting down a... Forester Lodge new trees, but the new trees don't... The Forester Lodge doesn't look any different. I mean, there's not anything that distinguishes it. And same with this one. You know, I'm not seeing any, like, door variations. I'm not seeing any variations in the chimneys. I'm not seeing any variation with anything else. They all seem to be the same, looking the same, which is a little disappointing. I thought there was going to be some sort of variation between these. So it's really flipping between, all the forestry is flipping between these two buildings here. Yep, truly. So let's look at these other ones though. Okay, so the hardwood forester is a little bit different. And there's only one variation on them. Let me just make sure. Oop. I clicked the wrong button here. Yeah, there's only one variation on that. So to recap, all of the forestry, when you start looking at the forester and the new trees forester, the palm trees forester, the wood tree forester, the pine forester, those are all these two buildings. They're all going to look the same, which is, like I said, unfortunate. And it seems like that we're going to have the same thing when we look at the variation of these hardwood foresters. So the hardwood forester new trees and the hardwood forester are also just the same one building. So there's no point in putting that down. We have a logging barge. What does a logging barge do? Collects wood or hardwood from the small price of a silver pfennig. I don't understand how that works. Okay, well that's kind of fascinating. Let's put that building down. Let's clear this area up over here. That's weird. So I guess you pay for your wood, for a silver pfennig for your wood. And we found out that the silver pfennig can be gotten at not the courthouse, but it was what building here? The governor's office, right? So if we look at the governors, yes. They collect silver pfennigs. I wonder how that works if you put multiple governor's offices down. If you wind up getting the collection, more of a collection on that. That would be kind of interesting. Okay, so let's go back. The foresters, there's individual foresters. Let's look if there's a variation on these buildings. This looks very similar. Oh, again, all these individual... But what's cool with these buildings are when you put them down, they grow these specific trees, right? So you'll see them grow the specific trees. And they're kind of neat. I had an apple forester. What happened was they had the apple trees and you could see the little red apples on them. And then on the ground, they also had the little crates of apples. Now, they didn't say anything about any kind of food that comes out of that. The only thing that comes out of that is just, oh, sorry, I keep hitting the wrong button, is just the trees. They're just collecting the trees. So it looks like all of these foresters have kind of the same variation. I'm not going to plant all these because it doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to sit there and watch them grow anyways. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to plant them. But I just wanted to see what the buildings were. Foresters, you know what a forester is. They wind up collecting wood and planting down new trees and stuff. So let's look at some of this mine related stuff. I don't think I have a hill anywhere. Oh, I do. Okay, so the mine has to be built inside of a hill, or next to, on the side of a hill. Let's clear this out just a little bit, so we can kind of see what's going on here. And we'll put down the mine again. And let's see, I'm probably gonna have to rotate this, right. Try to get to B right here. So here's the mine. It has a, I thought it had a limit of how much it can pull out of the ground. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe there's no limit. Interesting. It also says it can do iron, so it'll actually take in furnace fuel and produce iron right out of the gate. Well, that's kind of interesting. I thought that these had a cap on them. Maybe somebody can clarify that. Let's put the mining stuff down here. So this is the copper ore shaft. Is there any variation on the building? No, no variation on the building. And this is the tin ore shaft. Let's go ahead and rotate this building a little bit. These are kind of cool buildings. Doesn't seem like there's any variation on the tin one either. Now, these salt and stone mines do have a limit to them. There's no... Is there a variation on that building? No, I thought it looked like for a second there was a variation on it. And then the stone one, or the ore one, is here. And so these have a limit. You'll have a little bar that says how much is remaining. Okay, here's the bar that says how much is remaining. And you can upgrade these, right? So you can upgrade them to a dark mine. Let's see, I wonder if I can do that. Let's try to put down another mine here. Oh, I probably shouldn't put those other ones in there. Let's see if I can rotate this one. Let's see if I can upgrade that. I think I'm gonna need people to do that. We'll see what happens. If they're gonna wind up upgrading this or not. But these can be upgraded as well. And you can get stone or salt or iron or coal out of these. So let's see. We have the standard quarry, which... Yeah, I don't know if I'm that big on the quarry. I used to put down the quarry in the vanilla, of course, because that's the only choice that you had, was to put that down. But the problem is that it eats up such a huge block of space that, you know, it just didn't look very pretty, to be honest with you. But the beautiful thing about it is you can have a ton of people working it. So let's put down the quarry. And it also had a limit, but I guess you could upgrade it to a deep quarry. There's probably another level, and I think this is all Colonial Charter. Here's a small quarry, which I've never built before. It's probably just a smaller variation. How many people can work this? 15 on this one, and also 15 on this one too. So I guess you can have a smaller version of this. It's kind of like a little half version of it. It's kind of neat. I guess if it was off to the side, out of the way, and you didn't want to look at it. Here is a precious stone mine, which needs to be in the mountain. At least it looked like it needed to be in the mountain. Gold, silver, precious gems. A placer mine. Water slide method of harvesting. Okay, so this is over by the water. Needs to be just kind of in the water. Again, gold and stuff. So this is your guy that is, what do they call that? It's not panning, it's sluicing. Let's see. Saltworks. What is a saltworks? Saltworks needs to be next to water too. That makes sense, huh? Let's flip it over here. Why is it... it's a little finicky. But there we go. It's just salt works. Producing just solely salt. A stone gatherer and a iron gatherer. Now these guys are supposed to go out and collect in this radius, this massive radius, right? So if you were to put it down, you know, where your town just got built. Let's go over to an area where it's kind of starting off here. Let's say I just started this map. I mean, this is a huge radius. You drop this down, you can have a guy going and looking for stone or going and looking for iron. I haven't used them in an actual game, to be honest with you, so I don't know how effective they are. Maybe somebody can comment if they're pretty effective or not. Silkworm hut, I haven't used this either. So I don't entirely know. I mean, this is, I'm assuming this is providing, yeah, silk, right? Silkworms, which are being used for what? Silk hut raises silkworms to make silk, and as a last resort for food, requiring silkworm eggs for the trader to build. When built, silkworms require white mulberry leaves as food. This can be traded for or come from an orchard. Interesting. So before you put this chain down, you're going to need white mulberries. That was kind of fascinating. A shore house collects sand and clay. Oh, we can also get some food too. I guess turtles and frogs can be used for food and for reeds as well. That's pretty neat. Now, the Wild Shepherd is a pretty cool building. You can only have one Wild Shepherd, and he turns around and gets domesticated animals. I think he also gathers other things as well. But domesticated animals is his thing, and where the domesticated animals is used is the stables. And so you put down the stables, and the stables... oh, no, sorry. The stables also produce domesticated animals, and they are produced with either some sort of resource, right? Oats, barley, corn, wheat. So you need those before you get... you start working on this production chain as well. Okay, so that was... I got some nomads. That's funny. How many nomads do I have here? Let's take a quick peek. Who has the nomads? You've got the nomads? Wow, 171. Sure, let's allow these nomads in. Yay! Welcome home, nomads. Look at all these guys going crazy. They all went where? In here? To get iron tools. Wow. That was all their first stop. Their first stop was to get tools. What's their second stop? Nothing? Just hanging around the well? That's it. Just hanging around the well. Wow. Pretty fascinating stuff, right? Let's give a ton of firewood. And I know I don't have food. I don't need any of this stuff, right? But I thought I'd put this stuff in here just for the heck of it. Look at that. They went through all that firewood I put in there. It's kind of fun just to watch this. This debug mode go and have everybody do their thing. They're going through firewood like crazy. Here's some of my orchards coming down. Dense orchard. A standard orchard. You could see that it's doubled up. I like that it's doubled up. It's like, why use a standard orchard then if it's doubled up? What's the difference? Other than the fact that, I mean, does it take longer to build the trees or something? Dense orchards is the way to go. Plantations looking nice. I got some sort of disease going on. An outbreak of influenza is probably from the nomads. Okay, so that was it. That was this resource production. And I think next time what we'll do is I was going to try to get into this refined resources, but this is huge. It's a lot of things to put down. So we'll put these down next time. And then we'll start getting into the luxury and wow, some of these theme sets are pretty big when you're talking about key buildings. and you're talking about some of the various walls that you can build with the key walls, and then you're talking about the dock related items. We're gonna have to get in that, and of course the castle stuff is gonna be huge. I might have to autosave. I might have to, well, we still have room, so, and the key stuff can be done on the lake. I'm trying to think of it. We still have room to do stuff. So all right, well, hey, I appreciate you guys joining me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Like I said, I wasn't going to put down all the orchards, but I was a little surprised that we didn't have more variation in the buildings here. So they're all pretty much, the foresters are all pretty much the same. And then here is our mining production chain items. All right. Well, we'll see you guys later. Thank you so much. Put a like if you like the series. Leave comments in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Please remember to hit that like button if you liked the video and subscribe to our channel so you can stay on top of all of our latest video releases. I release content almost every day. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.